struck me as interesting about that airline, like many other airlines in this part of the world, is they're very good airlines. They leave at a certain time, they get in here at a certain time, you have an assigned seat. There are no issues whatsoever with a good airline. And the reason I mention that is because what we're talking about in all the presentations we've seen or heard today is trusted relationships. We have to be able to trust the people we do business with. Without that, that's when you have issues related to, I wonder what their reaction is going to be. I wonder how they're going to handle this situation. So when I think about these kind of presentations and TAPA, I think about developing standards that go towards a trusted relationship. So you know that when you're working with a subcontractor, a contractor, or a business partner, you know what they stand for in terms of their standards. Every company has standards. The problem is, every company's standards aren't very good. Some are good, some are exceptional, some are lousy. And that's why it's important to have a global standard that can be used by the smallest company to the largest company, so that there is a commonality in terms of how they react and deal with various issues related to supply chain security and concerns. I come from a buyer world. I'm not a logistics person. We buy services, okay? And what we look for in buying services, usually logistics providers, manufacturers, subcontractors, is someone that we can trust with our business. And so we are always looking for that trusted relationship. So I say to you that when you're looking for new employees, if you're looking for a business relationship, looking for another type of relationship or arrangement, look for people that you can trust. I will tell you that that's what you usually look for, whether it's your wife, your girlfriend, your husband, or whatever. You're looking for somebody you can trust. It's the same in this world. The standard itself has to be robust, and it's got to be resilient, and there needs to be a common understanding of what exactly that means. So that if I reach out for a new vendor for logistics in India, I know, oh, okay, they're TAPA certified. They have many employees who have gone through TAPA training. Their security process is quite robust and resilient. I think I can work with them. But if I go to, let's say, a logistics company, and I just walk through it, and I get the sense that it isn't up to a certain standard I have, then I wonder whether I can trust that company to do business with. So the whole trust angle, for me, is the most important thing. That is the most important concept for me. Is I've got to be able to trust the company I'm working with. And I think you'll find with your management and your employees and everyone connected to your company, it's also very important to them too. They have to be able to trust. So how do we go about doing that? It's very easy. We have networking sessions such as we have during these presentations. We have good presentations like the one we saw earlier today. We develop a sense of trying to understand who these other professionals are in the business so that we can figure out how to work together in trying to minimize risk throughout our supply chain or throughout the businesses that we run or that we have. And so it's all these sorts of activities to me that are very important to how we should address some of the issues that are out there. Now, earlier when Gaurav was talking about Flipkart's business model and the security concept, I wanted to comment then, but I didn't want to interrupt him at the same time, that in the pharmaceutical business, which I'm in, we have organizations and we do share information. Because the sharing of information, when you have a common problem, is extremely important in addressing that problem. It doesn't mean that you share all information with all companies. It means you share the information you want to share with them, but maybe with other information you just share bits and pieces or with one or two other companies. But the sharing of information is important because it also goes to the trust of a relationship too. And you will find, I'm sure most of you know in this audience, that as you go through the process, you will find that in people in your industry or your segment of business, you will have the same sort of problem that your competitor has. You may have the same problem with fraudulent behavior as your competitor has. So it's incumbent upon you to reach out and try to develop a mechanism to talk to one another, to engage in dialogue, to see if there's some way that can work together, even though they may be competitors on another front. In the pharmaceutical business, we belong to an organization called PSI, 36 international drug companies. And from a business perspective, we don't talk or share information. There's an antitrust issue, and number two, we may have competing products. But from a security perspective, from a supply chain perspective, we meet and discuss these issues all the time. Okay? And what standards do we use for that? We use TAPA standards. You can all go to the TAPA site, you can take a look at the standards, see what you think. You can use them for background if you want to use the standards to upgrade your own standards also. They're yours to use as you see fit. You should take the training. You should be certified. But take a look at the standards themselves, because that's a way that will give you a leg up in trying to beef up your security standards. If yours are already good, never mind. But you may still look at that to see if there's something that can make yours better. And what we do at Eli Lilly is we use the TAPA standard in-house. We look at it as a resource. We use it. We belong to TAPA a long time. We have other members on boards all over the world, and we've implemented that because it's a good, sound standard that can be used in-house. So when you're developing a security array or a plan to mitigate perimeter issues or access control issues, take a look at what's there, because you can see it's already been laid out in such a fashion that you can actually take that and use that as you see fit. That's what I would do. Instead of reinventing the wheel on access control, take a look there and see if there's anything that can be of value to you. And that's what we've done. We find it very handy. We also do that with our subcontractors, with logistics service providers. Okay? Not every one of them belongs to TAPA, I'll admit that. But we hold them to the same standard. They've got to pass that standard. So it's important to tell them that, because why not just go ahead and get certified as a site? If we hold you to the same standard, and other pharmaceutical companies do too, why don't you just go ahead and do it? So that's a convincing argument. You may not hear that now, but you may hear it someday. And so I suggest to you, and I propose, that you take a look at that, you take the FSR or the TSR and be certified. I passed it. And if I can pass it at my advanced age, everybody in this room can pass it, okay? So I would say take the course. It's taught here in India. We do have an annual conference this year in Ho Chi Minh City, which is the 6th or 7th of October. You're all invited. You can apply, you can participate. We've got training there, plus we have our annual conference. Please visit us. You're going to have about 200, 250 security, supply chain, process professionals from all over Asia there, and from Europe and the US present. And you can share information with them too. And in that group, you'll have security professionals, you'll have buyers, manufacturers, you'll have logistics providers, you'll have all sorts of business segments that are going to be represented during that conference. Okay? But if you can't make it to that, you should take some time to look at the TAPA website and contact me if you have any questions. I'll leave you my business card, and let's see if we can work together in trying to mitigate some of the risks that we see in the supply chain and in your businesses. Okay? So that's pretty much all I have to say. Okay? That was supposed to be done at 9:30 this morning, so it doesn't fit in with the time frame, but I couldn't make it.